All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto those for elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. And I just want to make a response to this testimonial. And it was very heavy, man. If you really, listened and observed what this brother was saying about this dream, I would say that this is like an emergency testimony. Something to take very serious. And I thought about one of the precepts, when the Lord was basically talking about the wedding ceremony and how, he sent servants to bid, to this wedding feast, and they went out to the highways and hedges, to fill the house. And there was an individual that didn't have on his wedding garment, and he looked out of place. And the question was, what is this fellow doing here without a wedding garment? And he had his servants bend him and cast him into outer darkness. Now, you don't want to be that individual that when you had the time, when the time was necessary for you to put your best foot, your best foot forward, to put in your best effort when the time mattered. You don't want to be the individual that didn't, make the best use of that opportunity. Because upon doing that, you can fail to enter in to that promise. And that's mainly one of the things that I thought about listening to this testimony. How he was, he showed up and he saw the apostles there, and that basically these men were used by the Most High to approve, brothers that was going to make it. And, there were brothers that was, that made it and they were happy. They were, joyful. But then you had brothers that came there and they were basically looking out of place. And they didn't get the same greeting, salute. They didn't get the same welcome, by the apostles in this dream as they were approving, brothers. So that basically shown that though, you be out there in the camps, it's not a guarantee that you're going to make it. And, several precepts went through my mind. He that thinketh he standeth, let him examine himself, or let him think again, lest he fall. All right, because, we were all called with a holy calling. So we definitely want to be found worthy. So, let me bring out some of the scriptures, that came to mind. One of them being this in the book of Hebrews, the 4th chapter. This basically, this was one of the main ones that stuck out to me. Hebrews 4:1, it says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should come." I'm going to read it again. It says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it." So this basically means that you can actually come short of entering into the kingdom. And it also made me think back to what it says in Peter. For if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and sinner appear? So there's room for you in this thing to either, put your best foot forward, that you may, solidify your election, or you can mess that off by being complacent, getting lazy, getting tied up in the affairs of this world, and losing the passion for this thing, not being fervent, not standing on business. That's what can happen, and you can fall away. And you don't want to be one of them brothers that happened to, and then at the last minute, you think that you could just, come right back and act like you were a part of the labor. Because a lot of those dudes that the apostles always bring up that were a part of the old school that went back into the world, it's a reason why they continue to bring their names up. Because those men, they came short of it when they actually had the opportunity. It says, for unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. So they heard the word, but it wasn't profitable when they heard it, because there was no faith there. So they had an unbelieving heart, even though they were receiving, the word. It says, for we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and the Most High did rest the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief. Like, and he's using a comparison of what happened when we were delivered out of Egypt and we entered into the wilderness. Before we was able to enter into the promised land, the land of Canaan, it was a time period where Jake was showing that at some point the unfaithfulness was going to show. It was going to come out of them. They started, murmuring and complaining. They were basically being disobedient. They was getting on the Most High nerves. So how many of them out of all those Jakes that went into the wilderness, how many of them made it into the land of Canaan? A lot of them didn't make it because they didn't have any patience and they didn't have any faith. So they wasn't worthy to enter in. So it's the same thing applied to this truth, being in this faith now. Certain dudes, getting lazy, they getting tired. Some of them, acting like, they deserve something, because they're out there doing what is their duty to do. Jake, trying to monetize and, get, filthy lucre out of it. Jake going back into the world because they feel like the Lord is delaying his coming, losing patience. So when the Lord shows up, you think they're going to enter into the ship? No, you're going to be one of those brothers that the Lord is not going to welcome you. You're going to be rejected. And when and listening to that brother's testimony, man, it should spark some kind of anxiety, man. Like, hey, I hope I'm in good standing. I hope I'm doing enough. All my sacrifice and my work is accepted with the Most High. Because just like a lot of Jake didn't make it into the promised land, a lot of Jake ain't gonna make it into the kingdom as well, including brothers, certain brothers, man. Many called, but only few are chosen. So we have no time to be complacent. Verse 7, it says, again, he limiteth a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear my voice, harden not your hearts. For if Yahushua had given him rest, then would he not have, for if Jesus, which this was actually talking about Joshua, had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? Like he would have gave them rest back then. So obviously it was talking about a different time period. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. And right now, hey, we scriptures say, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. America is not our rest. This is a failing empire. It's getting ready to collapse. This devil just got inaugurated today, and it was all type of witchcraft and stuff going on. And they sound more prouder than ever. And we know pride go before a fall. So I wouldn't want to get cozy and like, but you got certain Jake they're getting comfortable, and that's not a good sign. It says, there remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. For he that is entered into his rest have also ceased from his own works, as the Most High did his. And even brothers that die in the truth, you died late doing the labors. It tells you that in Revelation, that they that died in the Lord, matter of fact, let me get it. Because, once you pass on, your work cease. I think it's in Revelation, was it 14? Yeah, Revelation 14 and 13. And it says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yes, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Because those same brothers that did the work and they ended up dying in the Lord, their legacy is gonna be left behind. They still left a legacy of faith through their works, their labors of love. And they did it towards the Lord from the heart. So they're going to be rewarded, all right, when the Lord returns, and they're going to be risen up. All right. So let's go back. Verse 10, it says, for he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. You're like Jake in the wilderness. Okay. They was losing patience. So, this is one of the scriptures that, stuck out, as I was listening to this brother's testimony, man. And it was like, man, this is heavy. Right now, the doors are still open. Even Yahushua said that the day will come when no man shall work. So while it is today, we have to do what we supposed to be. Matter of fact, let me get this in Hebrews 10. It is Hebrews 10 and 22. It says, let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. That day is coming up, man. So knowing that that day is coming quickly, we're definitely to be, involved, participating and being fervent in spirit and not slothful in business. Tending to the Lord and putting forth, that effort. All right. And let me get this one. Because knowing that we were called, it doesn't mean that you are guaranteed. And it's a spirit because, you had the Apostle Gabar, he did a lesson, I think it was like a series on the number of things to know if you're of the elect or if you are a man of the Lord. The things that you will be doing if you're of the elect. All right. And one of the things that assures that you may possibly be of the hopeful elect is if you're given diligence. All right. It's 2 Peter 1:10. It says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua Mashiach. So you see that it talks about, that entrance, entering into that rest. So to be assured of that place, you got to, give diligence. Show persistency, man. When you look up the word diligence, in the Greek, the word is spoudazo, and it says to use speed, i.e. to make effort, be prompt or earnest. Do give diligence, be diligent. To hasten, make haste. To exhort oneself, endeavor, give diligence. And it says here, careful and persistent work or effort. So, and that's what the apostles, they always, push that spirit, be on fire, man, be diligent. You don't want to be lazy. You don't want to be a brother that's just, he don't know what to do. He's not participating. He got his hands in his pocket. And them brothers that, that was being mentioned in here that, they were trying to make their case. They were trying to, pull out precepts and trying to, argue, their case to the apostles, why they should be approved. And, why wait till the last minute to get serious? So you could tell that, these were brothers that, at one point in time they was out there, but then they got lazy. They started bullshitting. They started getting, intertwined with, the affairs of this life. Probably got caught up with, with women, and wasn't giving their time to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It was bullshitting. You start to lose the fire, the passion. You start doing the bare minimum. And that was more than likely those individuals, man. He said when the apostles, each of those men, when they came up to him, they didn't have the same welcoming spirit. They wasn't smiling, when they showed up. So these had to have been men who was they was given a portion, they was given a gift, but they didn't maximize, they didn't use it. And you can't play the Most High, man. The Lord knows your strength, and He knows what He gave you. What the brother quoted it, for that for much have been. Let me look for it. Yeah, this is Luke 12. And I'm going to start at verse 43, and I'm going to just read down to verse 48. It says, "Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Of a truth I say unto you, that he will make him a ruler over all that he hath. But and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming," and that's the brothers that, they think the Lord is taking forever. He's not coming on their time. They feel like they missing out on something in the world. Like a much of a lot of those dudes that the apostles always talk about or bring up that went to the old school, that used to be in the camps back in the 90s. When 2000 came and nothing happened, they was like, all right, the Lord, he ain't coming he ain't coming in his lifetime. So they developed that attitude. I might as well go back and try to get it, while it's here. "And shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink and be with the drunken." You went back into the world, right? You start coming against the truth. It says, "The Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, he didn't count the cost, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more." So that's, reason to not be complacent. Don't get complacent, man. Because the Lord's not going to allow you to shortchange him. All right, we're to max out, according to the measure of faith that he gave you. So some brothers was BSing and they didn't get approved. And that's a scary thing, man. Very scary. And we can't forget the Lord said here in Jeremiah 48:10, it says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." And when you look up deceitfully, and you understand why the word deceitfully is even being used here. Because the Lord, if he gives you a portion, but you shortchanging him, and you're not giving him everything that he's asking of you, and he gave you the tools for it, you're basically being deceitful. And this is the Hebrew word ramayah, and it says laxness, slackness, slackening. Okay. It says remissness, treachery, deceitful, false, guile, idle, slack, slothful. And that's why the apostles always, every once in a while, they address that lukewarm spirit. And around this time, every year, there's always that spring cleaning, and they always start with men who's not on fire, who's BSing. Just being lukewarm. So if anything, this testimony should be take it as a warning. Paul even said to seek out seek out the salvation of our Lord with fear and with trembling. So we definitely have no room to get complacent. Feeling satisfied for what you think you're doing, because we can always do more. It's Philippians 2:12. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your salvation with fear and trembling." And when you look up that word trembling, the Greek word is tramos. And it says here, a trembling or quaking with fear and trembling used to describe the anxiety of one who distrusts his ability completely to meet all requirements, but religiously does his utmost to fulfill his duty. So, you're going to be anxious, like, man, I hope I'm doing enough. I'm going to do my utmost. Because, at the end of the day, we're living sacrifices. So a lot of it is going to be uncomfortable, But what else do you got here in Babylon? We don't got nothing else here. So we don't want to seem to fall short of entering into that rest, man. We don't want to be rejected, right at the finish line. That would be horrible. So you want to have the confidence, but in order for you to have that confidence, you're going to be doing the things that the Lord requires. That way, when we do come to the finish line, you be confident. And was that in the Apocrypha, Sirach 14? Blessed is the man who have not fallen from his hope, and blessed is the man whose conscience have not condemned him. Because them brothers that showed up and they didn't get welcomed, you could tell that their conscience was guilty. Trying to pull out precepts at the last minute, trying to, make a case. And that's, this is a way of the Lord saying, hey, depart from me. I never knew you, ye that work iniquity. And being casted into outer darkness. So, this should definitely, put fear in you, because it definitely put fear in me. And that's what inspired me to do this response. So, yeah, man, if y'all not subscribed, subscribe, and, hey, we got to take this serious. All right. Because just because, you call yourself a bro and, you in a camp, it's not a guarantee. So, let's, make sure we putting in that effort, man. And that goes for myself first and foremost. So, anyway, with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. And until the next one, Shalom.